this is not the video I wanted to make this week. I actually had a whole different one planned. It was also about Show.co, but I ran into a roadblock. And this is more important. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Joey Clarkson and I'm a singer-songwriter, voiceover artist, and audiobook narrator living in London, UK with my husband and our two Pomskis. I make videos just like this every week, so if you like this kind of thing, please do hit that subscription button and turn that notification bell on. Alright guys, so the video I planned on making today was actually about how you can set up a Show.co campaign as an independent artist and get your music advertised on the world's leading music websites. However, I hit a hiccup. You see, I had sat down on Sunday afternoon and actually filmed myself creating two different ads on two different Show.co accounts. One was for an interactive Apple Music campaign that would draw the audience back to our Apple Music profiles, and the other was an advert that looked identical to the Apple Music campaign, but was using Spotify to drive people back to our Spotify channels. I put $20 down on the ad spends for both of those campaigns and set them to run for 3 days with every intention of sitting down today and going over the analytics with you so that we could decide whether or not this was worth it for independent artists, and we could see which kind of ad performed better, the one that utilized Apple Music or the one that utilized Spotify. I sat down today to look at the analytics and we ran into a problem. A big one, and one that I wish I knew like before I started this campaign so that I could have done it in a different way. What I noticed was that Show.co spent approximately like 11% of our ad budget that we had actually applied to each of these campaigns, meaning that they only spent $2.11 on one and $2.43 on the other. When I built the ad, I was told I could expect around 6,600 impressions per day, which would be around 1,800 impressions over the course of the entire campaign. When my campaign ended, I received only a little over 3,500 impressions on the entire campaign. So over the whole of the 3 days, I only received 3,500 impressions. This wouldn't be a problem if Show.co didn't have a minimum ad spend on every campaign that they run. So in order to run a campaign with Show.co, at least an interactive one, you need to spend a minimum of $20 on every ad that you put forward. You also have to pay a $1 audit fee. This $1 audit fee didn't bother me before until I discovered that they don't spend the entire ad budget, which means that the next time you want to use that money and apply it towards another ad campaign, you have to pay an additional audit fee for each additional ad. So in our case, I have between $17 and $18 set aside on our different Show.co accounts, and I'm unable to use this unless I spend the additional money, in which case is around $2.11 and $2.43, to bring both of those budgets back up to $20, and then pay an additional $1 each campaign for the audit fee to run the ad again. I do like to complain about things sometimes, but I also like to do something about it. So I have reached out to Show.co to explain what had happened, why I was disappointed, and to see if there's any way to move forward without having to pay additional money to use the money that I now have as credit towards their site that should have realistically been spent on the ad campaign that I originally bought. Now, I don't think that the campaign itself, if the ad budget had been spent, would have been completely useless, because the small amount of money I did spend actually saw some decent results in terms of engagement and reach. However, had they pointed out throughout the process that this would have taken more than 3 days to spend my $20 ad spend that you have to prepay, I would have made my campaign longer. So I would have chosen maybe 2 weeks to 4 weeks to spend $20 to ensure that I wouldn't have to top up to reach that $20 ad spend again to use the remainder of my money, and also so I wouldn't have to spend an additional $1 audit fee on each advert that I was running that I had to duplicate in order to spend the money I already spent, which should have been applied to an ad that had already run. I'm gonna keep you guys posted on what they say and when they come back to me and how this is going to play out, and I will be completing this campaign so that I have the data to show you what a Show.co ad campaign can do for your career as an independent artist and whether or not I think it's worth it when it's done properly. Obviously, my biggest tip for you would be to give yourself time. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever used Show.co before in the past, and maybe if you've run into this problem yourself. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope I get to see more of you in the future, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you better.